Hello and welcome to Education Champions. I'm Bryant Sexton with my co-host Sarah Schaefer, and we've got another great show for you today. And our guest, all the way from Galloway, New Jersey, from Stockton University, Dr. Lee Bryant. Doc, how are you today?
I'm doing amazing. I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me.
That may have something to do with the recent Super Bowl, and we'll probably touch on that, by the way, an Eagles fan in southern New Jersey. Tell me this, though, as we get down to business, in the business of education, what led you to higher education and building your life and career around higher ed?
Well, Brian, that's an amazing question. And honestly, my start, I wanted to be in broadcast journalism like you are. However, my career changed because as a work study student in my undergrad, I was working in a financial aid office, and that actually was the precipice that led me into higher ed. My first job was a financial aid counselor, and that work then allowed me to move into so many other areas. Because I understood how financial aid was processed, I would always have students that would come to me and unfortunately weren't eligible for aid because of some misguided advice. And so I then moved my trajectory into being an academic advisor because, again, I understood how aid was processed and I understood what could cause a student to lose aid. And so because of that, that then changed my whole higher ed dynamic. And I've been in higher ed for about 30 years now. Clearly, I know I don't look as though I've been in higher ed for 30 years, but it has been an amazing journey leading up to me being an assistant dean here in the School of Health Sciences.
So as you talk about the School of Health Sciences and higher ed, you know, my work is mainly in the K-12 field. And so what is it that can be done at the K-12 field to help what you're seeing in the higher ed region?
Sarah, that's an amazing question, and I thank you for that question. I think one of the key things is for the K through 12 educators to really discover and think about partnerships with key stakeholders in higher ed. You know, faculty, staff, students, we love going back and talking through, talking to K through 12 classes. We enjoy partnering with elementary, middle, and even high school. And so the goal would be to really help encourage and advance higher ed. We know that, once a student gets in high school, they pretty much made their mind up as to what school they're going to. But, I love speaking to middle school. I love speaking to elementary school and discussing with the students there the possibilities of higher ed and what schools they should consider. I think also educators should really cultivate an advanced mind for career exploration. And what I mean by that is, sometimes educators hear students say, well, I want to be a doctor. And they'll say, okay, great, and we'll talk about that journey of being a doctor, but go a little deeper, go a little further and say, well, what kind of doctor? And they might say a pediatrician. Well, had they ever considered, wanting to be a dermatologist, or a neurosurgeon, right? And so I think you can cultivate an advanced mind with the young generation because their minds are so advanced, they sometimes already know what they want to be, and you can just really cultivate that. And lastly, think about that inquisitive mind and keep that mind in step of development. Children spend most of their time with you all as educators, right? And, I'm a parent, and when my kids get home, they're doing their homework and, we're eating, and we sometimes don't get into those deep discussions that teachers most of the time get into. And so, I would encourage teachers to just really help with that inquisitive mind, as, sometimes children share more with you as educators than they do with us as parents. And so as they're talking with you all, just really help, build that inquisitive mind because, there might be things that they're sharing with you that they'll never share with a parent. And you might be that person, that conduit that really helps them achieve the goals that they never thought that they could achieve.
Yeah, great insights there. I think, for teachers, sometimes we get so caught up in the curriculum and the content and what we need to cover and not really thinking about those bigger picture ideas and that, that mindset and creating that love or that joy for learning. So thanks for those great insights to share with the teachers and maybe help us refocus a little bit on our day-to-day interactions.
Now, with the energy and passion that you have shown us here, do you want to break into a rendition of Fly Eagles Fly, or you just want to still beam about your Eagles and their Super Bowl championship?
So, Brian, I do want to beam. I will say this. Friday was my birthday, and, I had a wonderful end of birthday gift with the Eagles winning. So I will say, Fly Eagles Fly. They won the victory. EAGLES, go Eagles!
And we are going to leave it at that. Hopefully someday down in Jacksonville, we'll say the same thing with the JAGUARS. But until then, we'll take some of that positive energy that we're all feeling from you. The folks at Stockton University are blessed to have you in their midst. Dr. Lee Bryant, thank you so much for spending some time with us and for joining us here on Education Champions. We'll put all your contact information in the show notes so that folks can find you and the amazing things that you're doing up there in New Jersey.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time on Education Champions.
I'm Sarah Schaefer, founder of Mathodology. We're a company that's invested in helping parents, teachers, students understand the whys behind the math concepts and not just the how-tos. Understanding how math connects. The ideas connect and should not be taught in isolation. We need to provide these connections. This is what I do, and this is what I'm so passionate about. Thank you for watching, and I hope you will take advantage of the support and the training that we offer.